everyone. Tera Roberts here with your DFS Bargains for Week 9. The football world is on tilt, and quite frankly, there are bargains everywhere. We just got to pick the right ones. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. At quarterback, I've got two options. I'll start off with the one that is not so obvious, Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod has had a rough couple of years. Every chance he gets injured. Last year, his crazy off-the-field injury left him without a job when Justin Herbert took over. But Davis Mills is not Justin Herbert, and Tyrod is back in action this week against Miami. It's the perfect matchup for a return. In Week 1 against Jacksonville, Tyrod went 21 of 33 with 2 touchdowns and 40 yards on the ground. Those numbers would bring huge upside for you at his price. The more obvious choice here is Jordan Love. With pricing being set before Aaron Rodgers tested positive for COVID, Love is literally cheaper than my bargain running backs, meaning that he doesn't have to have a fantastic game in order to pay off in your lineup. But I do think that he will have a very solid performance. You have to remember that Jordan Love prepared as the Packers QB1 this offseason. He's very comfortable in the offense. Will he be Aaron Rodgers? Probably not. But against Kansas City, he has an excellent shot at trying. Moving on to running backs, and we'll go with a couple of options this week. Option number 1 is Carlos Hyde. James Robinson is day-to-day with an injury, and it's looking like Carlos Hyde will be the lead back on Sunday. It's not an ideal matchup with the Jags facing a tough Buffalo defense, but I suspect that Hyde will make up for lack of opportunity on the ground with opportunity through the air. Last week against Seattle, Hyde had 9 carries for 32 yards when Robinson went down. Yuck, but he did catch 6 of 8 targets for 40 yards. He can be a solid option at a low price. Our second option is Derrick Gore. Derrick Gore arrived out of nowhere with 11 carries for 48 yards and 1 touchdown. Now, Darrell Williams still dominated snap count, but it's not unusual for Kansas City to utilize multiple backs. And Gore did pass Jerick McKinnon, who was barely on the field and not even really utilized. Gore is a very low-priced option with upside to pay off. Moving on to wide receivers, Jamal Agnew is a legitimate steal. He's had 3 solid weeks in a row, showing as the primary beneficiary of DJ Chark's absence. We expected opportunities to shift more towards Shenault, but it's been Agnew that is asserting himself within this offense. Last week, he caught 6 of 12 targets with 1 touchdown. This week's matchup against Buffalo is tough, but Agnew can still pay off. Another great option is Rondale Moore. It's incredibly hard trying to pinpoint where these targets are heading in the Cardinals' offense. But DeAndre Hopkins isn't practicing, AJ Green is likely out with COVID, Christian Kirk is a little too expensive for my list, and Rondale Moore is the cheap option here. Kyler Murray is sidelined, but Cliff Kingsbury implied that Murray could play even without practicing. Either way, Moore is in line for a larger role on Sunday. One more option at receiver is Bryan Edwards. With Henry Ruggs no longer with the team, Edwards is in line for an increase in targets and opportunities. Edwards found the end zone in the Raiders' last game before the bye week, going 3 of 4 for 43 yards. An increase in targets could pay off big time at his price. At tight end, there are 2 ways that you could go. Dan Arnold is very reasonably priced option. Again, the Jags have a tough matchup, but will likely need to have high pass volume to at least try to keep up with Josh Allen. Last week, Dan Arnold went 8 of 10 for 68 yards. His prior 2 games, he saw 5 targets and 8 targets. He's getting comfortable within this Jags offense and serving as a nice outlet for rookie Trevor Lawrence, and I expect that to continue this week. A second option at tight end is a very low-priced option, another option due to a positive COVID test from Noah Fant. If Fant can't go, Albert O is the go-to tight end for Teddy Bridgewater. He's been mildly active, going 3 of 3 for 34 yards last week, and with Fant out, he stands to see a big increase in snap count and targets. Fant is someone who is typically on the field for the vast majority of snaps and sees as many as 11 targets, and the Broncos have a more pass-friendly option with Dallas, who has been stout against the run. Expect a good payoff this week for Albert O. And that wraps up this week's DFS Bargains. Be sure to check out all of our DFS content and come back next week for another round of DFS Bargains.